what is playing good golf? It's having a consistent curve, striking it well, and essentially avoiding danger.
Yes.
Isn't it, really? And that's the key part. And I think when you get the swing in a good spot, the ball flight therefore gets in a good spot. Hopefully it's a bit more predictable. Is it at the minute, curve-wise?
I feel like, everything, especially in terms of, all my irons are kind of, what should we start with, 9 as always? Or?
Yeah, just clip a few 9s away. Yeah.
The drive is getting better as well, and the woods are great. Irons are fine. Irons are kind of baby draw, maybe sometimes baby fade, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And the driver's kind of like, I'm even like kind of drawing a little bit on the mini driver, but the main driver is kind of like straight or occasional. It's never gone left anymore. It's either like I've sliced it and whoops, it's gone wrong.
Yeah.
But it's never going left anymore, which is nice. I'm sure there will be times that it will.
I think little things. I know that you've come from a place of, you could potentially miss it quite a long way either side of target. So when you say things, the miss is narrower.
Yeah.
If the miss is still a bit two ways, and there's two types of two ways in my book. You've got, for me as a fader, sometimes I'll pull it. It'll go dead straight, but just left side of the green.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll hit my nice little pull fade. It'll start left, peel back. Then sometimes I'll overcurve target to the right. So I've got a two-way miss, but I've got one type of curve. Where it gets tricky, and it might be where you get sometimes, is if you hit push fades and pull draws.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not fully sure when one is going to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's when I say it's a bit of a first world problem to have a zero path. It's good for a 25 handicap, a 30 handicap, because they say exactly what you said, like narrows the miss up. But it gets to a point where I want you to stand on the tee box and know if I do A and B, C is pull fade, push draw. And you just know you can lock in that ball flight, and the bad one is pull over curve or push over curve.
Yeah. It's,
rather than being limbo land.
especially with the driver, I'm going to aim. If I hit the driver, I'm probably going to aim like in the middle of the left side.
Yeah.
And then if I do double cross myself, I'm like, it's gone now. It's gone way. It's gone too far left.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's going to be straight or fade. And if it doesn't, then I'm like, ooh.
So that's always quite key, I think. And that's, to be honest, vital across the bag from wedges. So many people I know that I play with that are really good hit like little kind of draw wedges, and they come out low, they have loads of spin, but they've got some kind of curve.
Yeah.
Rather than just, I just hope I hit it straight, and that's basically it. You've got to try and play with some sort of curve.
It's kind of like, especially, it's mainly the long irons are guaranteed if it goes wrong, it's going to go right.
Okay.
So you need really the driver and the woods that will go left on me.
Yeah. Are you trying to hit the same shape with both?
No, just trying to hit it straight. Just hoping it works.
Prime example. Just trying to hit it straight.
I just want to go.
No. I'll let you go for a few and get yourself warmed up. Nice. Do you feel as if the shorter irons are more kind of little draws, more on lock?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay. Sure, yeah. Sometimes it's a surprise with, I'm so not used to seeing, I've grown up always just trying to hit it dead straight.
Yeah.
And now it's like just seeing draws and even they're little draws, but it's still nice to see, it's unexpected.
I mean, if you watch golf on TV tonight, it's pretty rare that you'll see them hit a dead straight shot. Maybe with a wedge, a full wedge into a green. You're not going to see a ton of curve.
No.
But, often you see McIlroy hit his fade up the left or a big power draw off the right. They all shape it because it's weirdly easier to find target when you're committing to some kind of shape.
And it's natural as well. You're not trying to force, I guess.
Exactly. You've got your stock.
Go with what you've got. Right?
Bread and butter. Yeah, exactly. Okie dokie. Yeah, nice.
It still feels like it's a world. I feel it's funny how how much more confidence I have just going on the course as well. I know my scores aren't they're not showing what I expect to see, but my game in general is it's so much more instead of being up and down, it used to be I play really well or I don't play really well. It's the curvature of I feel like I'm playing well, it's not quite. The conditions don't help anyway. At the moment it's still wet, it's bumpy and Greens aren't brilliant, but
to be honest, I think if you're shooting anything above 32, 33 points in winter, it's quite good, to be honest. You know, we get claggy, horrible lies with chipping. It is difficult. You really want to make sure you're trending for when it gets nicer. Did you have any like technical questions? Anything you wanted to run through?
Not at the moment.
No.
Not yet.
Right, let's have a little peek at these. You keep going. I'll have a quick look.
Oh, that's been too quick. Too quick, too thin. So thin, it's 4 degrees down.
Yeah. It's this. The 0.6 path and the 3.2 closed club face. You just want to get it to a spot where you sort of minimum 2. If you're minimum of a 2 path, your face can be, you know, degree shut and you'll hit a nice little push draw.
Yeah.
The problem with your 0 is that 3.2 shut, it's not that closed that you'd look up, that ball is pulled and then drawn away from target. So it makes it quite difficult to really plan a miss. And I think sometimes if you've got, you know, the big miss with the driver and one suddenly double crosses left, that's going to often be probably a reload off the tee, inevitably. If it's left and curving left, it's usually a lost ball, isn't it, really? Unless you play on a really wide course. And sometimes that can be a neutral path with driver with a little bit of upstrike. It can help you close the face. So if your bias is already a little bit shut in the first place, upstrike will pull it more and then hook it more, you know? So it's like you want to give yourself a little bit more wiggle room, I guess, a little bit more wiggle room. And it goes from, oh, I just want to hit it straight and avoid the big miss, to actually, I want to really trust the stock shape that I can rely on immediately. So just go for 2 more there, and then these videos will be good.
And it's funny how, like, I felt like when I'm not playing brilliantly, I feel like I'm getting steeper.
Yeah,
a little bit. I just need to keep that.
When you see the video, I think you'll twig it pretty quick. The face on's looking a ton better.
I almost have to remind myself almost to not get too
yeah,
steep.
I mean, so from the face on there, Simon, on the right-hand side, you know, the typical things we always check. The pelvis sway off the ball. I don't mind if your pelvis moves an inch to the right on the way back, but the problem was when you would move your pelvis excessively away, your lower half would move back, but your upper half would move towards.
Yeah. Do you almost do it?
Yeah, exactly. So imagine if I've got vertical lines, one through my pelvis, one through my chest. If they go in opposite directions on the way back, that's often trouble, and that's where you used to be. I don't mind if they both move an inch sideways. You know, if the center of the chest moves and the center of the pelvis moves sideways, that's fine, because you're not creating this reverse spine angle. So I don't mind that. And generally, that is a ton better from a face-on perspective, a ton better. Down the line, you look as if, as you move back, you're stuck a little bit on the toes of the feet, particularly that.
Definitely,
right
there's a few I was like, oh, if I go get the ball, I'm going to not be seeing me fall forward.
Yeah, you can kind of see that. So I think the setup, a really simple plumb line to draw, is one through the back of the armpits.
Is it going, a bit too far over?
Yeah, so we'd like that to fall through the base of the laces.
Yeah.
Would be great. So I think you could just stand a ball's width closer, and it would make that pressure a bit more even in the setup, because during the backswing, you know, you really want to try and feel as if you're finding that right heel at the top. But if your bias is forward anyway, it's going to be so hard for you to make a deep enough turn, and that's why we see where you've got the swing plane values down the left-hand side column, this was a 9-iron, right?
Yeah.
So, early 60s is fine, but when you flirt with like 68, 66, for a full swing, that can drive the low point too deep. It can occasionally hit it a bit heavy.
Yeah.
Chipping, you can be mid-70s, mid-80s.
Cool.
And as long as you manage the depth of your low point, you're going to be fine in using a shorter club. So that's not the end of the world. But for this 8-iron, I think pulling your feet in, a ball's width, would make the pressure feel more even in your feet.
There's definitely been a few times where I feel like I've gotten away. I feel like I've taken it so heavy, but I've gotten away with it.
Really?
Like I've got enough attack angle down. It's gone where I wanted to, but I'm like, oh my god, I've literally taken about half a yard of grass out.
Really? Okay, fine. so that's a really good bit of info, because if there's the depth of your divot is not necessarily symbolic of how much angle of attack you've got, but it's symbolic of the depth of your low point, because the low point can move around. It can move down and up, out and in, and before or after. Yeah. Before and after, I mean, if you asked the typical golfer at the golf club, why would you hit a shot heavy? Low point before the ball would be the key part. But if you've generally got angle of attack negative, so minus 3.2, minus 2, minus 1.5, minus 3.6, minus 4, minus 1, you're always downwards. So the only reason why you're really going to hit it heavy is via a low point being too deep. Yeah. Which, when you see the start of the downswing on the left, and this would link to the driver being a little bit struggly, is there. Now this is interesting, because you're not actually incredibly steep in shaft, because when I draw a line through it, pretty good. Yeah. 60 degrees. But it would just be above plane. So if I come back and draw a line through the shaft, it's not steep at all. It's just too far above plane. Yeah. Would you say driver's the worst club in the bag at the minute?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, with the driver, it's the only club I've actually, or woods in general, anything long, I can feel myself falling, so I have to bring myself back. I guess when I get shorter, I'm getting closer, it doesn't make I can pretty much probably be over it without knowing I'm over it.
Yeah.
With the driver, because I'm so far away, I'm like, whoop, I actually have to physically kind of bring myself back and then wiggle forward again.
Exactly. Because then obviously when you're too far away, I had this with a client before you, when you're so far away from it, it's almost like you want to try and reach for it. You have to go that way. So it usually inspires early extension rather than reduces it. So I'd set up to this one, feel softer, feel closer to the point where, if you had that plumb line, you could come half a ball. That's beautiful, good. So now you should feel as if you've got much more even spread of weight through toe to heel.
I can lift, kind of rock almost on my feet.
Good. So as you swing back, you're going to try and find pressure in the right heel. Just come up to my hand. That's it.
Straighten the right heel.
Yeah, don't completely straighten the right leg, but just allow it to move the right hip. That's it. Good. So now the shaft plane was very good. So now you'll be more on plane.
Okay.
But when you're more forward and you have arm lift and you're too far away,
it's going to come.
You want to just reach out for it. So you're going to feel closer and just more on the right heel. Just set me a little kind of half backswing. Good, good. One more. Well done, yeah. And then you're just going to chip a couple away. That same length backswing is absolutely fine for now. Lucky, don't worry. Takes a few to get used to it. Great, well done, it's perfect. Excellent.
Sometimes I find it harder to chip through than do a full swing.
Really?
I don't know why. It's that kind of like half swing, 3/4 swing is not quite. I think we were saying like last week, where Tiger was like on plane, no matter how far he kind of. Yeah. I struggle doing that there, or
so. If your shaft is off plane like yours is, you've got to have some kind of momentum going through the club head to almost let it shallow itself, because eventually you get pretty close to your green line where you started. But if you're here, judging where you are plane-wise and swinging softer, you don't have the time, if you like, to correct it. So when you get closer, when you get more on plane, like I said last time, you'll feel like, oh no, I can find strike from a half swing, 3/4 and full, and I don't have to try and go searching for it. But when you're so far away and above plane, it's like I've got to go searching for strike rather than just allow. It's a bit oversimplification, but allow kind of gravity to let the club deflect into the bottom of the ball. You've got to try and find strike.
You almost try to find that slot where I'm like, whoa.
Exactly.
So I find it easier hitting full shots and
you feel as if you've got that fluidity to help you out for sure. I'm going to make you do a few more though.
Cool.
Just to test yourself. That's it. So yeah, give your feet a bit of a wiggle in setup and make sure you're even. Half backswing. Good. That was better with the right foot at the top. Much better.
Always amazing you see someone like Tony Finau or someone he's almost like
he's
over the ball.
Almost in the ball. Yeah, exactly.
So close to it.
Yeah.
That's what my go-to if I know I'm doing it is to rock back to make sure my feet are. My little fish with the driver. I'm like, can I do that or not?
Like that.
So
much better.
Yeah, and the club's that side of my.
Yeah.
And not over.
Not across. Like that. Well done. Well done. I'll let you do two more.
Cool.
And then we're just going to show you that swing plane getting a little bit shallower. Cool. Sorry, you might have told me at the start. Just remind me, ball striking with longer irons? Good, bad?
Not too bad, to be honest. Like 50-50. Like off the tee with the 4-iron, it can be kind of out of 10. I'd probably hit 6 good ones.
Okay.
Or like kind of finish drifting to the right.
Fine.
But it's definitely with the long ones. I have to slow everything. Try and be more smooth with the longer clubs, and I have to really kind of think about it more than with the shorter clubs. Nope.
Lucky.
Actually, pay attention.
Start to gradually speed it up.
Cool.
What we're really after, as you get into that setup, when this right leg allows that right hip to get deeper, this will feel as if the arms are kind of like lowering into this spot. Whereas when you've been so far away, you felt as if your hand path has to move outwards, which is why you get the heel strike when I put you too close.
Yep.
So instead, if you go up to the top, I want you to feel from there, as you're going to rotate left, you're just going to let your left arm feel as if it lowers down your chest this way.
Okay.
Yeah? And that will make the head stay more behind you for a little bit longer and clip more inside the ball. See, that was a slight toe strike, or would have been, yeah? Rather than standing so far away, having to throw the club outwards on the way down. Yeah, nice, really nice. One more, just nice and chippy. Beautiful, yeah, good. So that had a 61.8 swing plane.
Much better.
But 5 degrees of downstrike. So you've shallowed the arc of your swing, but hit more down.
Cool.
Yeah? Rather than, you had one, that's 63, you had one, 71.6.
Yeah.
And had 3 degrees down. So this is too steep. This is how you'll hit the odd one a bit heavy and a bit clunky. Love that. Love that. I love that path number. Love that path number.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure earlier on your path was 3.2, was it? When we were talking about that zero path, 3.2, 3.6?
With nothing, yeah.
So there you've got the same, but the face to path value is less than your path value, meaning your face is still open to your target line.
Cool.
So if you're 4.2 but then 5.2 shut with the face to path, you're one shot to your target.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a superb spot. Well done. Well done.
Certainly feels I've got almost better contact.
Yeah. Simon, that is superb. 3.4, 1.7.
3.63, that's better. Just got to do it every time.
Just 1,000 reps a week, mate. You'll be
Yeah,
there.
it's fine, especially at my age.
Good. That was good on the way down. Little stuck through strike, but that was really nice.
Yeah, I felt a little.
This looks great, mate. Well done. Well done.
Almost feels like I'm starting it right and letting it come back rather than
Trying to hoik it back.
yeah.
Yeah. So your job before next session is to develop a stock shape. I think it'll be draw. Hopefully if you work on this, where you've got swing plane on that one, 59.7, absolutely fantastic strike out the middle, 3.2 down, 3 degrees from the inside, half degree shut. So that would become the new, this is just straight, but just kind of right side of the green for an iron shot. Occasionally, you are going to turn one over a little bit, like this one. This is a little bit too shut with the club face. Looks like you've got a little bit steeper. But this would basically just give you, visually, you'll be able to kind of aim straight or kind of middle or right like you are now, and just play your shape, and you just see this ball start on the correct side and then bend back. Because if it's starting for you right for a draw, you can will it back to the start line. You can will it back to the middle. It can take a bit of a spin and kick left. But I personally hate any shot which, as soon as I look up, it starts on the wrong side and then curves more that way.
Yeah.
And I just can't stand it.
I don't mind if it starts that way and goes further around. It's starting that way and going that way is never like, it's not getting that back.
Like we said earlier on, it's pretty much an instant reload, isn't it, really, most of the time? Particularly if you're setting up for a fade. But look at the difference in these two. So a little bit closer to the ball. We can see green plumb line on the new, back of the armpit, should be kneecaps and balls. Brilliant. Balls of the feet, that is.
I was going to
say. And then on the left, you can see you're
a bit more,
not quite there and forward in the foot. So it's never miles away. It's not quite a perfectly straight line, but not miles away. And I think mentally nowhere near as close as you feel like you are. When you are too far away from it, you'll always feel the need to reach for it on the way down. And you'll struggle to get truly into the right hip at the top. So you go from this, where if you square a face up to that, it's dead left.
Yeah.
Dead left.
It's that club head as well, like behind my hands and not in front of my hands.
Yeah. Exactly. I think I love that backswing.
Yeah.
I love that backswing. I'd almost challenge you to have a session where you make 3/4 swings, but try and hit it almost to full yardage.
Yeah.
Get used to the fact that now you're using your body so much better than where you used to. The arms become almost like the transmission to that energy. They're not the horsepower. They're not how big the engine is. But now the lower half is creating the horsepower. It's been beefed up. That the arms are now just really, they do create speed, but they're not solely creating all the energy and gripping it so tight and lifting so high. So, you know, it's so frequent that people like you who have an under rotation through the pelvis and have things like a reverse spine angle at the top are overswingers because you're just trying to create speed.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
But that on the right, you are turning better.
Yeah.
There's no need to. So now your P3 goes from left arm almost flirting with being out from underneath the shoulder to now P3 left arm across chest still and hands in front of chest.
Yeah.
So like we said, the shaft pitch wasn't really something we were trying to change there because it's pretty good. But the shaft pitch is still fantastic. And you have a more suitable amount of depth to the hands at that spot. Whereas on the left...
Over the front almost, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's working so far out towards the golf ball that it's pretty difficult for you to consistently start it on the correct side, right side for you of target. So it's not really a shaft pitch thing, but more just a hand path thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Just having that feeling of like getting here and then so like I almost bring it down, like you say, bring it down my body rather than
exactly
over and out.
So long story short, it's pretty simple. You stand miles away, you then have to throw the club out on the way down. When you stand a suitable distance away, that plumb line, you can start to, basically, it's the same with the speed. You just don't have to overreact so much with your arms. So when you look at that P6, I mean, that is unbelievably different.
Yeah.
So now we're going to ramp up the pace.
Yeah.
We're going to try and maintain these positions if we can.
Even the weight of my feet as well, the ball, like the
well spotted.
Coming up, and this one's still down. It's a more solid base there, isn't it? It's like
yeah, which gives more space for the hands, arms to work through. Cool. Let's try and hit a couple a little harder, shall we?
Yeah, no worries.
Like it?
Easier said than done, but we'll give it a go. Do no worries. Might be going left.
I think that's more face than path, though.
Yeah, that was definitely closed face. It's getting me used to trying to not... So used to doing that.
Yeah.
It's getting me used to holding it back, I guess, and not closing it too soon.
You'd also feel like this will be more next session, but if you do that same thing, all the way up to the top, and then show me... Good. So that's 4. Show me 5, left arm parallel. That's it, perfect. So when this shaft gets shallower, rotation becomes your friend. Whereas when you're already out that way, imagine if you kept turning through strike.
I'm just going to cut across.
How out to win it would be.
Yeah.
So you kind of stall out occasionally, which makes you hit it heavy. And you know, I said a minute ago, it's like you kind of run out of room. It starts to become, you know, you get the shaft in a great plane, and then the rotation around into your lead side makes a lot of sense, and it creates space and helps with face control. But you've come from a place of being more outside. So if you had loads of turn into your left side, this arm position we're seeing on the left there would get thrown more outwards and come more out to in, and it would have made you worse. So you might just find eventually, if you just get down to that halfway down, you'd find eventually that all the good work you've done so far, so show me halfway down. Yeah, good. Now you have to rotate your chest from there and pelvis. Yeah, that's it. Good. And that'll be quite a cool feeling because it does feel as if it pure strike and, you know, the face is a bit more passive. Well done. Nice. I don't have them. They're in the box downstairs, aren't they? Which studio?
You know, the ones from the workshop.
Oh, I don't have those. Not the ones that are hung up. I took the ones that are out the black box by the door. I took those this morning, but I put them back. Don't worry. Nice.
That did feel pretty good.
Well done. 2.5, 2.3, 60-degree swing plane, 3 degrees down.
Just getting that, squeezing that orange again. I still got to remember that. Get it turned through it.
So you turn through it more, and the path was still inside-outside, which would tell me that the downswing hand path was perfect.
Marvellous.
Marvellous.
I think so. I hope so. Just keep doing it and again and again and again.
Well done. Well done.
You could just feel it in the strike as well.
Yeah. How good's that? 4-degree path, 3-degree face.
That'll definitely work.
Earlier on, face the path. You had one of the early ones. Was it this one? Yeah, so look at that. So swing plane was great on that particular swing. Angle of attack was perfect, but because the club path was 0.6, this was your 5th swing of the day, and you had a 3.2 shut face, that would have missed the green. Excuse me, that would have missed the green. This is 5 yards left. That's 15 yards left. So it's 10 yards left. Most greens are what? 17 to 25, maybe-ish. So maybe you're, flirting with left edge.
Catching a bit of it, yeah.
But then that's only 3.2 shut. And that's why this can become a problem sometimes, because if you've got a 0.6 path, and a good rule of thumb, as we said before, you want your face path to be half of your path number. 0.6 means you have to have a 0.3 face.
Yeah.
And the best players in the world aren't even that good.
Yeah.
But if you give yourself this, so now with 3 degrees shut, but you've got a 4-degree path, it completely changes start line and the amount of bend you see. So that's now a yard left.
Yeah.
And suddenly that's stiff, and we had a path further away from target.
Yeah.
But it's just way easier to play golf like that.
Yeah.
Way easier. Love that.
Awesome.
Well done, mate. Superb. Better on the way down.
Yeah.
Didn't quite create the room on the way through, but feel a bit jammed up and a bit stuck.
Quite the strike.
Nice. Well done. Peppering target now, Simon.
It's more like, yeah.
Peppering target.
It's funny. It's just knowing it sounds funny, without even knowing I've done it well, because I'm actually in that position where I've turned through it.
Yeah.
There's so many drivers I've hit, I'm like, oh no!
Yeah,
do the old helicopter hang, like, oh no!
Exactly. Should we hit some driver?
Yeah.
Yeah? Be brave?
Well, I embarrass myself, don't mind.
It will be, as always, very, very likely the same thing. But driver's just so difficult. If you've got that hand path working out and over, the ones that go left, are they like high on the face and left? Do you remember how they're like struck?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely getting better at hitting out the middle of the face. There's a few squirrely, got away with it where I've managed to draw it back, but it's so high toe. It's like it's the club that's done the work, really, bringing it back than anything.
So you start to know your big picture. So what would high toe potentially mean for you? Think of it.
Too far away.
Too far away, exactly.
I'm probably coming down too deep.
Exactly.
On it as well.
Yeah. So depth of low point and too far away from the ball. So it will be all the same thing, but you'll start to realize that so all of our golf swings are deceptively consistent. We like to think we're not consistent. We're not consistent in our ball flight because it depends on where we strike it, how we deliver our club face, how we feel the lie we're off. But the way we actually move the club is freakishly consistent. Yeah. Like how hard is it to change your swing?
Yeah,
it's taking a bit of time, right? But it's basically you start realizing that the way you swing it has its benefits to some clubs and downsides to other clubs. And often, if you are steeper or outward in hand path, drive will be the tough one. If you got to a point where you were too shallow, you probably come in and say, can't hit a short iron, but I'm driving it so well.
Yeah.
And that's usually because the arc is suiting the longer shaft of the club and the ball that's elevated. But it wouldn't suit a pitching wedge from 100 yards.
Is it like as everything gets longer or shorter, it either get exaggerated or not? Like it's the same swing, but it's just because it's longer, it's just exaggerating your worst.
And it'll feel heavier. And if you're already fighting a bit of a toe balance in your feet, suddenly when you've got this thing swinging at 95, 100 miles an hour, that's now going to feel like a 5 kilogram, 6 kilogram weight in your hands. So it's a bit like doing a kettlebell swing with something which you just cannot manage, right? It would just pull you around all over the place. Whereas if your balance in the feet is good, you should manage the weight better.
Cool.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
That would kind of be a bit. I feel like that might be a bit more fadey, but
I was close to inside, outside, and path. Right.
I'll hit one in a minute.
You'll be glad to know it's all the same thing.
Cool.
So, when you see this, you will quickly see the similarities between these two swings. So moving towards it.
Yeah. Falling over a bit.
Weight towards the toes of the feet. Hand path incredibly outwards. Yeah, so that kind of left arm parallel position we looked at earlier. Rather than having it deeper at that point, it's super over. So that will be deep and low point. You can see where that club is outside. Yeah, it's all the same thing. Just more difficult. More difficult. So you've got to try and feel, first thing is creating space. So what we're going to do, wander over here for me. Just place the club up against the wall and give yourself enough room that you can make some swings. And I want you to feel as if, same thing with the right heel and right hip. You're always trying to create space from the wall. That's it, good. Now swing the club through. You can't move past the wall. And move it around. That's it. In. Yeah, good. So rather than you feel as if you're reaching for strike.
Almost cricket, almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's being driven that way rather than moving around you and shallower, yeah? The reason why I put you up against the wall is because I want you to start regulating the outside of your circle, yeah? The low point being too far away from you.
So not going crunch.
You don't need to stretch it away. You need to feel the club more in. Good. And then gradually make a few longer swings. Good. Go for a couple more. So find right heel, right hip at the top. Good. And again. Up to the top. Yep. Same spot, same spot. Up to the top. Okay, this is where we need to feel arms lowering. Yeah? This sensation on the way down, that left arm running down the chest, rather than the hand path wanting to reach for it. Yeah? Oops. It's like you're not steep, you're just hand path out. So you've got to feel up, left arm low. That's it. Good. And just do it really slow. Yeah, good. Up to the top, left arm low. Good. Yeah, even more on that last one. Cool. Even more. There you go. So it's the sensation of gradually, as you're swinging down, rather than being over here, struggling to get onto right heel, and then throwing the hands out, it starts to become right heel is easy to find, and then as you're turning, the arm is actually lowering. But because the hands going downwards and the chest turning create a down and out hand path, whereas currently you are that way. Whereas for you, it should feel almost as if your arm is lowering the grip into your right pocket, not pulling the grip into the right pocket, but lowering the grip. And you'll be surprised that even if you feel as if your hands are moving back, because your body is turning, it really keeps the club in a great plane and won't move the low point too far outside the golf ball. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I've always felt like I'm not casting, but I'm not far off. Feels a little bit when I'm like throwing it out.
Yeah.
I've had to like, that's when I kind of fall on my tips trying to catch it. And
yeah, exactly. It's not casting, but it's not far off. So give me a couple of practice swings there. Up to the top. Arm low. Even more. Good. One more, up to the top. That'll do, that's good. So it's this. Yeah. And
it's really, really, really dropping it. Well, for me, for the feeling.
Yeah, I don't like the word dropping it. I don't know why. I just, good. But lowering it.
Yep.
Yeah. Lowering that left arm. Good. Even if it's same again, you kind of hit a couple of bits a bit more slow when you chip it away. Yeah.
Felt a lot more solid.
It started on the right side of target, didn't it? Yeah, nice. Straight on the middle. So a path of 5, a face to path of 2.8, a swing plane of 46. Brilliant numbers.
Yeah.
So it feels awkward. I know it's going to go on 200 yards because you didn't hit it very hard, but
still pretty good for me.
yeah, I mean it's just the same. It's just the same sensation. And I think the distance from the ball has made you get so that way, more so than where you were last time, that is just so difficult to really time up strike. And again, your feel of your arms working or lowering on the way down, it's really not actually at all moving this way, but they're just moving less outwards. Disconnected in a way, yeah.
It's going to be a while to get used to this one, I think.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tricky. So that was high heel.
Yeah.
Just so you know. So low point too far outside the golf ball. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Almost there, wasn't it? Kind of. Right. Same again, a bit high heely again.
So your sensation would be, address the ball, swing up, miss it on the inside. Because you'd have to keep the arms so low and so far behind for so much longer that you'd actually feel as if you're going to miss the ball entirely on the inside.
Okay, yep.
Yeah?
It's almost like I'm coming back and I'm almost trying to do this.
Yeah.
Miss it on the inside.
Because the high heel is the low point being too far outside and too low.
Yep.
So your idea is that you make the swing and you feel the arms lower and you feel the club completely miss on the inside.
Cool.
But it's going to happen by depth in this part. That's it. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, good. You got
I'm
it?
pretty sure I'll be pretty good at missing the ball. That's something I could probably do.
So actually miss it on the inside. It's just a great strike.
Yeah, I did try and miss it.
So that was still
It's getting closer to the
high
middle,
heel,
isn't it?
yeah, but much closer. Much closer. Just goes to show the bias of how outside low point it is.
might be a bit more. Felt like a bit more, got under it a bit more. Still high heel.
Hit it softer. These are still, they're like slower swings, but they're like full swings. Just literally
Hit it soft.
halfway and just try and get that sweet spot inside.
Okay.
There you go, there you go. The same with the irons. You just go back to doing that for a few swings, get the strike back, get the feel of where you need to have it, and then build the pace up. That was lovely. That was straight above the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Much better. Much better.
All same again.
Good. Good.
Oh.
One or two more, Simon, then you can relax.
Oh.
Very good. Love it.
Because I'm not falling over it as much. I feel like I'm almost still stood up straighter, which is quite nice. I don't feel like I'm...
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like you regulate the... Yeah, you just regulate the outside of the arc, you know? You're not falling forward as you go back, reaching out for the ball, but instead you understand that, okay, if I find the right heel, I've got all the room in the world to deliver the club more on the inside, and I can stay away from the golf ball because you're using a levered club. You don't need to move the hand path outside and therefore the head outside.
Yeah.
You can keep the golf club, like on those good swings we took, where that left arm was much more underneath the shoulder rather than the bad ones are like super separated from your rib cage.
I feel like I've always struggled with drivers. I think because I've always reached for it, getting close and dropping it, has always felt like I can't get through it.
Yeah.
Whereas being able to do that is not something I've ever been able to. Same with that Tony Finau thing again, where he's so close. I'm like, how do you do that? I'm like, just practice, I'm guessing, but
yeah, it helps. Does help. I love Finau's swing.
It's awesome.
It's wicked. Good effort. Good effort. Still slightly high heel. Yeah. But getting there.
Yeah.
That'll do there, mate. Come on. Brilliant.
Much better, yeah.
Getting there.
Oh.
I mean, to be honest, to get there from there,
yeah,
that's a huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah.
But it's like you just don't need to help the handle move outwards because it will always deliver more of a heel strike. And certainly for the driver that's elevated off the ground, it'll be high heel. So you've got to feel as if you go up, find right heel, lower the arm, the length of the shaft will find strike for you, and then you'll be more inspired, like you were with the irons, to feel more rotary and create space. Yeah.
Cool.
It's good. Well done.
Knackered. Driver's
work.
definitely harder work than
The driver is hard work. It is hard work. You're not wrong.
Marvellous.
You're not wrong. I'm just going to run through your before and after and just the couple of little changes we made. The prime topic being the swing plane was a little bit on the steeper side. And what you can see in it, and a huge difference between the left and the right-hand side of the screen. One is that on the left, you can see there's still some pressure forward in the foot. So from the glute line and head line, you can see that average of mass will be quite heavily forwards, okay? Whereas on the right, you don't look as if your head is as over the ball, okay? So we look as if the head is a little bit more back to my eye there, which can help drive the pressure a little bit more back in this right foot, okay? Now, if the pressure is too far forward and you feel too far away from the ball, you're always more inclined to move the hands outwards in the downswing. So we can see how we have a shaft, which, as we said, is not necessarily steep, but just above plane. And we have a left arm, which is out from underneath the shoulder. Now, on the way down, on the right-hand side, what we can see is an arm that lowers down the chest more effectively. So as we get to left arm parallel versus left arm parallel, you can see one arm is inside the shoulder, one arm is flirting with outside the shoulder. And we can see as a byproduct, we have actually gained a little bit of shallowing and got a shaft a little bit more on plane. Now, as that moves down, what you'll find is that that head will get more from the inside, as opposed to wanting to get kicked outside. And look at the position of the left arm there. I mean, that is so different. So on the right, you'll have acres of room to find strike. Okay, you'll feel as if you can post up better out of that left side because that shaft or head will be working ever so slightly from the inside, and we should get the push draw really working very nicely. Okay, so try to feel two things: a little bit closer to the ball, a little bit more weight in the right foot at the top of the backswing. In the back of the right foot at the top of the backswing, and the lead arm lowering down the chest as you rotate. Those three things should drastically shallow out the amount of ground strike you have and make things like 3-woods and long iron shots so much better. Okay, well done, mate. See you soon.